Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our virtual Dirshu Mishnah Berurah share. We're holding in Mishnah Berurah Chelik Hey. We'll be learning today Miras Hashem Daf Kuf Lamed Aleph Amid Aleph. We're holding in Siman Tuf Kuf Yud Gimel, and we pick up today on the second line of Kuf Lamed Aleph Amid Aleph with Sif Dalet. So just to remind ourselves what it is that we've been speaking about here in Siman Tuf Kuf Yud Gimel, we're speaking about the halachas of a beitza shenolda b'Yom Tov, an egg that was laid on Yom Tov. Now, if you remember, we said yesterday that if Yom Tov falls out on Sunday and an egg is laid on Sunday, that egg is asur mid'araisa. Why? Because an egg that's laid on Sunday was completed inside the chicken on Shabbos. And we learn out from a pasuk that Shabbos is not allowed to be mechin for Yom Tov. Shabbos is not allowed to prepare something for Yom Tov. Likewise, Yom Tov is not allowed to prepare something for Shabbos. So if the egg was laid on Sunday of Yom Tov, that means that its preparation was completed on Shabbos. In that case, Shabbos was mechin for Yom Tov, and the egg is asur mid'araisa. Now that's if Yom Tov falls out on Sunday. How about if Yom Tov falls out on Tuesday? If Yom Tov falls out on Tuesday, so the egg was laid on Yom Tov on Tuesday, that means it was completed on Monday. Really, then there's no reason for an Isser Mid'araisa, because Monday was a day of Chayil, it was a regular weekday, and a day of Chayil can be Mechin for Yom Tov. So really, the Isser D'Araisa would not apply. However, the Chazal made an Isser D'Rabbanan, and they said, since an egg that's laid on Yom Tov, when Yom Tov is Sunday, is Asur Mid'Araisa, we're going to Aser every time an egg is laid on Yom Tov. A beitza shenolda b'Yom Tov is always an Isser D'Rabbanan. That's what we learned yesterday. Now today, we're going to go through some interesting cases on how Yom Tov falls out. 2 days Yom Tov, 1 day Yom Tov, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Tov following Shabbos, Shabbos following Yom Tov. We're going to go through several different scenarios, and when is the egg mutter and when is the egg aser. First, here in Sif Dalet, we have more of a side point. Says the Mechaber in Sif Dalet, Mutter lichbais aleha kli kidei shaloi tishaver. You have this beitza shenolda b'Yom Tov. The hen laid an egg on Yom Tov. The egg is muktzah and it's aser, but you want to protect it. You don't want it to become broken. So you're allowed to take a keli. You could take a bowl and cover up the egg to protect the egg. Or belvad shelo yiga bo hakli, as long as you do not touch the egg with the keli. Says the Chavetz Chaim in Ois Katan Yud Aleph. Lichbais aleha, you're allowed to turn a keli upside down over the egg. Aval aser litain tachteha kli be'eis shehatarnagolos mitilasa shetipal boy. What you're not allowed to do is, let's say you have the hen and the hen didn't lay the egg yet. So you want to put a keli down so that either the hen should lay the egg directly into the keli, or so that the egg should roll into the keli after the hen lays the egg. That you're not allowed to do. Why? Taharehi muktzah, because the egg is muktzah. And when the egg goes into the keli is going to become muktzah. V'nimtza mevatal al yedei zeh hakli mehechanoi. Here we have the interesting halacha of bitul kli mehechanoi. When you have a keli that's really not muktzah, so the keli is muchan for Shabbos use. Now, by positioning it so that it should catch a muktzah egg, now you're going to create a situation where the keli can no longer be used. The keli will now become muktzah. In that case, you were mevatel kli mehechanoi. You had a keli that was muchan, and now on Shabbos, you took it out of its muchan status, and you gave it a muktzah status. That's an isser. Why exactly is it asser? There are those that say that it's a tolda of the malacha of boineh, because by creating a situation where the keli is now muktzah, it's as if you fixed the keli in place, because you're no longer allowed to move it. Others say that quite the opposite. It comes from the malacha of seiser, of destroying, because you had a usable keli and you turned it into an unusable keli. So that's like seiser. But whatever exactly it comes from, the bottom line is bitul kli mehechanoi is an isser on Shabbos, so you cannot put a keli there to catch the muktzah egg from the hen. Ois Katan Yud Beis hakli. The Mechaber said, as long as you don't touch the egg with the keli. Chavetz Chaim explains why. The motzoi lehisnaneya habeitza al yedei negia kolshehu mipnei shehi agula. The problem over here is that if you're going to touch the egg with the keli, you very easily will come to move the egg, to be metaltal the egg. So therefore, you should make sure not to touch the egg with the keli. Okay, that was Sif Dalet. Now we go to Sif Hey. Let's say you have Shnei Yomim Tovim Shel Golius. You have the 2 days of Yom Tov that we have in Golus. Let's say the first 2 days of Sukkot, the first 2 days of Pesach, Shavuos. You have 2 days Yom Tov. Says the Mechaber, Im Noilda Bi Yom Tov Rishon. Let's say the egg was laid on the first day of Yom Tov. Well, okay, that egg is muktzah. It's a beitza shenolda Bi Yom Tov, and it's muktzah. But let's say Yom Tov was Tuesday and Wednesday. So if the egg was laid on Tuesday, it's muktzah, it's a beitza shenolda Bi Yom Tov, and that's the gzera atu if Yom Tov was Sunday. If Yom Tov was Sunday, so a beitza shenolda on Sunday, we said is an issa daraisa, because Shabbos was meichen for Yom Tov. If the egg is laid on Tuesday, on the first day of Yom Tov, the egg is aser because of the gzera d'Rabbanan. It's called the hachana d'Rabba. Okay. So now, Im Nolda B'Yom Tov Rishon, the egg was laid on the first day of Yom Tov. Muteris B'Yom Tov Sheni B'Shnei Yomim Tovim Shel Golios. Even though the egg is aser on the first day of Yom Tov, the egg is mutter on the second day of Yom Tov. Okay, now let's analyze this for a second. The egg was laid on the first day of Yom Tov. That means the egg was completed on the day of Chayil, the day before Yom Tov. All right. So al sachana, you don't really have a problem. It's a day of Chayil was meichen for Yom Tov for the first day of Yom Tov. Now on the first day of Yom Tov, it's aser because it's a beitza shenolda Bi Yom Tov. That's the gzera d'Rabbanan. Now it's the second day of Yom Tov. Now the second day of Yom Tov is there because of Sveika D'Yoma. So now we could look at it. We could say Mimonavshach. Wait a second. If today, let's say the case I gave, Yom Tov is Tuesday and Wednesday. So if Tuesday was Kodesh, if Tuesday was the real day of Yom Tov, so all right. So yesterday was Yom Tov. Yesterday the egg was aser. It was a beitza shenolda Bi Yom Tov. But today, Wednesday, is really Chayil. So if today is really Chayil, the egg is 100% mutter. Elamai, maybe Wednesday was really the day of Yom Tov, and maybe Tuesday was really Chayil. Okay, so if Tuesday was Chayil and Wednesday was Yom Tov, what's the problem with this egg? So yesterday was a day of Chayil. This egg was laid yesterday. It was laid yesterday during the week. What's the problem? There's no reason why it shouldn't be mutter. So Im Nolda B'Yom Tov Rishon, Muteris B'Yom Tov Sheni, B'Shnei Yomim Tovim Shel Golios. Let's take a look at the Mishnah Berurah here. It's cutting your gimel. The Mishnah Berurah says, Muteris B'Yom Tov Sheni, Hainu B'Leil Yom Tov Sheni. Right away at the night going into the second day of Yom Tov, the egg becomes mutter. Shaharei Mimonavshach Echad Mehem Hu Chayil. Because either Tuesday or Wednesday is really a day of Chayil. Either way, there's no reason to aser the egg on Wednesday. If Wednesday is Kodesh, then Tuesday was Chayil. So what's the problem? If Wednesday is Chayil, Tuesday was Kodesh, but Wednesday is Chayil. So of course the egg is mutter. So there's no reason to aser it. Now, there is a very, very interesting question that's brought down over here. It's going to become, I think the question is really going to become more obvious in the Mishnah Berurah later. But that is, if we have 2 days of Yom Tov, Tuesday and Wednesday, and the egg was laid on Tuesday. Well, all right, the egg wasn't around yet by Banish Moshes. All right, so we'll go a little bit further. I think the question will come up a little bit more later. All right, so that was the first case of the Mechaber. Now let's go back to the Mechaber. We did Ice Cotton Yud Gimel. Okay. That's by the 2 days of Yom Tov, the Shnei Yomim Tovim Shel Golios. Aval, however, B'Shnei Yomim Tovim Shel Rosh Hashanah. How about on the 2 days Yom Tov of Rosh Hashanah? Let's say the egg was laid on the first day of Rosh Hashanah. Well, if the egg is laid on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, then it's going to be aser on the first day of Rosh Hashanah and on the second day of Rosh Hashanah. Why? Because like we've said many times already, we treat the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah as a Yuma Arichta. We treat them as being really one long day. and therefore a Beitza Shenolda B'Yom Tov is Aser for the entire day. So if the egg was laid on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, it's Aser on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, and it's also the second day of Rosh Hashanah also, because we look at those 2 days as being one day. So if it's also the first day, it's also the second day. Continues the Mechaber, V'chein b'Shabbos v'Yom Tov hasmuchim zeh lazeh. And so too, if you have Shabbos and Yom Tov right next to each other, let's say you have Shabbos and then Sunday is Yom Tov, or you have Friday is Yom Tov and Shabbos obviously is Shabbos. Nolda bazeh asura bazeh. Then the egg is going to be aser on both days. And the reason for this is very, very simple. Let's say Yom Tov is Friday, and then comes Shabbos, and the egg was laid on Friday. Well, if the egg is laid on Friday, it's aser on Friday because it's Beitza Shenolda B'Yom Tov. Anytime an egg is laid on Yom Tov, it's aser that day. So if Friday was Yom Tov, the egg was laid on Friday, the egg is aser. Now on Shabbos, we're going to aser the egg as well. Why are we going to aser the egg on Shabbos? Because there's a new hachana problem here. The hachana problem that we've been dealing with until now is we've said that an egg is completed inside the chicken the day before it's laid. So in the classical case of the Issa D'Oraisa of Beitza Shenolda B'Yom Tov is when Sunday is Yom Tov. The egg was laid on Sunday. That means it was completed inside the chicken on Shabbos. So Shabbos was meichin for Yom Tov. That's the hachana that we've been dealing with until now. But now we have a case where Friday was Yom Tov, and now it's Shabbos. And the egg was laid on Friday. Why is the egg aser on Shabbos? Als the hachana that we've been dealing with until now. So, okay, the egg was laid on Friday. That means it was completed inside the chicken on Thursday. So the egg is aser on Friday because of the Gzera D'Rabbanan because what do you do when Yom Tov falls out on Sunday? That's why the egg is aser on Friday, even though the hachana of the egg was really done on Thursday, which was chayil, right? But now there's another problem. And the problem is, if an egg is laid on Friday and Friday is Yom Tov, the laying of the egg is also an act of hachana. In other words, there's two different acts of hachana over here. One hachana is when the egg is completed inside the chicken. The other hachana is when the egg is laid. The laying of the egg prepares the egg for edibility. We can't eat it before it's laid. So let's say Yom Tov was Thursday and Friday, and the egg was laid on Friday. If the egg is laid on Friday, so it's aser on Friday because it's a Beitza Shenolda B'Yom Tov. Now it's also aser on Shabbos because Friday, which was Yom Tov, was meichin for Shabbos because the egg was laid on Friday. It became an edible egg on Friday. And Yom Tov is not allowed to be meichin for Shabbos. And therefore the egg is going to be aser. And we'll read this inside in the Mishnah Berurah as well. So just to read the Mechaber, V'chein b'Shabbos v'Yom Tov asmuchim zeh lazeh, nolda bazeh asura bazeh. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah is cutting your daled. Shal Rosh Hashanah, mipnei sheshnei hayamim hen kodesh u'kiyam echad orachein chashuvim. We treat the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah as a kedusha arichta. It's one long kedusha. It's one day. So if the egg is laid on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, it's also on that day. It's a Beitza Shenolda B'Yom Tov. Since the second day is just an extension of the first day, so the same way it's also the first day, it's also on the second day, as opposed to the Shnei Yomim Tovim Shel Golius. By the Shnei Yomim Tovim Shel Golius, it's not a Kedusha Arichta. It's not one long day. It's 2 separate days, and it's a Sveika D'Yoma. So if the egg is laid on the first day of Yom Tov, it's mutter on the second day of Yom Tov, because Mimanashach. We're not going to aser it. We're not going to say that the first day of Yom Tov was meichin for the second day of Yom Tov, because the egg was laid on the first day of Yom Tov. That made it edible, and the first day of Yom Tov can't be meichin for the second day of Yom Tov, so it should be aser. We're not going to say that. Why? Because we have a Mimanashach. What we're going to say instead is we're going to say, wait a second, it's the second day of Yom Tov. If today is Kodesh, then yesterday was Chayil. So it was Chayil being meichin for Yom Tov. If yesterday was Kodesh, so then today is Chayil. So what's the problem? It was laid yesterday, today's Chayil. Nothing's muktzah on a regular weekday. Okay. Continues the Mishnah Berurah here, and I was cutting you down. Let's say you have a suffix whether or not the egg was laid on Yom Tov Rishon, mutter af b'Yom Tov Sheni or Rosh Hashanah. Then even on the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, if there's a suffix when the egg was laid, we would say it's mutter. Okay, it's cutting tezvav. Hasmuchim zelazeh. If you have Shabbos and Yom Tov next to each other, bein shehu Yom Tov achar Shabbos, whether Yom Tov is Sunday, or Shabbos achar Yom Tov, or Yom Tov was Thursday and Friday, and now it's Shabbos. In that case, asura bazeh. In that case, the egg is going to be asur on both days, ada erev, until the night. Why? Shal yedei lei dezun nasis habeitza mucheres la'achila. Because the laying of the egg made the egg roi for achila. It made the egg edible. So that's also an act of hachana. So again, either way, let's say Thursday and Friday were Yom Tov, and the egg was laid on Friday. So now on Shabbos, the egg is going to be asur, because Yom Tov was meichin for Shabbos. If Friday was a day of Yom Tov, and the egg was laid on Yom Tov, that made it edible for Shabbos. So Friday, Yom Tov, was meichin for Shabbos, so the egg is asur. If Yom Tov is Sunday, and the egg was laid on Shabbos, so all right, so Shabbos was meichin for Yom Tov. Shabbos is not allowed to be meichin for Yom Tov. The egg was laid and became edible on Shabbos, so the egg is asur on Sunday as well. V'im natira, if we would say that the egg is mutter, nimtza she'echad heichen l'chaveroi. It would come out that either Shabbos was meichin for Yom Tov or Yom Tov was meichin for Shabbos. V'anan kaimalon de'ein Shabbos meichin l'Yom Tov ve'ein Yom Tov meichin l'Shabbos. Okay. Now we go to the words of the Ramah. Haggah. V'im Yom Tov b'yom Rishon Sheni. Let's say Yom Tov fell out on Sunday and Monday. V'nolda b'Shabbos shelifneim. And the egg was laid on Shabbos. Mutter b'Yom Tov Sheni shel galis. So again, Yom Tov is Sunday and Monday. The egg was laid on Shabbos. Now, if the egg was laid on Shabbos, the egg is asur on Sunday. Why is it asur on Sunday? Because of what we just said. Since the egg was laid on Shabbos, it became edible on Shabbos. Shabbos is not allowed to be meichin for Yom Tov. So on Sunday, the egg is going to be asur. But now the Ramah says on Monday, the egg will be mutter. Why will the egg be mutter on Monday? Because again, we're going to say mimanav shach. We're going to say if Monday is Kodesh, that means Sunday is Chayil. Because why do we have 2 days Yom Tov? Sveika diyoma. So if Monday is Kodesh, Sunday was Chayil. So okay, the egg was laid on Shabbos. Shabbos was meichin for Sunday, which is a day of Chayil. What's the problem? The egg is mutter on Monday. If Sunday was Kodesh, then Monday is Chayil. If Monday is Chayil, nothing is muktzah. So you're right. Shabbos was meichin for Sunday. On Sunday, the egg was asur because Sunday was Kodesh. Monday is Chayil. Now everything is mutter. Says the Mishnah Berurah, and I cut in Yud Zayin, b'yom Rishon Sheni, la'afukem Yom Tov haya b'yom Shabbos Kodesh u'b'yom Rishon. If Yom Tov fell out on Shabbos and Sunday, then asur b'yom Rishon, then the egg is going to be asur on Sunday, afshehu Yom Sheni shel Yom Tov, even though it's the second day of Yom Tov, of it's Yom Tov Sheni shel Goliath, Teshema hayom Kodesh. On Sunday, the egg is going to be asur because we have to worry maybe the real day of Yom Tov is Sunday. And if the real day of Yom Tov is Sunday and the egg was laid on Shabbos, Shabbos was meichin for Sunday. Shabbos was meichin for Yom Tov. Not allowed to do that. But mutter b'yom Sheni. But if Yom Tov was Sunday and Monday and the egg was laid on Shabbos, the egg is mutter on Monday. Why? Im hayom rishon haya kodesh. If Sunday was the real day of Yom Tov, so then hayom chayil. So then Monday is a weekday. Nothing is muktzah. V'im hayom kodesh. And if Monday is really the day of Yom Tov, now skip the word esmoil. The word esmoil has to be a typo. Skip the word esmoil. V'im haya kodesh. If Monday is really Yom Tov, then kishanolda. Then when the egg Oh, I'm sorry. The other way. Leave in the word esmal, take out the word kishanolda. Vim hayoim kodesh, if today Monday is really Yom Tov, so today Monday is kodesh, so then esmal, yesterday, Sunday, hayachoil. Sunday was a weekday, and the egg was laid on Shabbos. So the egg was laid on Shabbos, Sunday was a weekday, Monday is Yom Tov, so there's no problem. The egg is mutter. Okay, this is all a little bit complicated, but if you go over it, the concepts are very easy. And again, I think the key concepts that you have to fix into your mind is there's the Issa Daraisa of a Beitza Shenolda B'Yom Tov. That's only when Yom Tov is on Sunday. When Yom Tov is on Sunday and an egg is laid on Sunday, that egg is Aser Daraisa. Why? Because it was completed inside the chicken on Shabbos. Shabbos is not allowed to be meichen for Yom Tov, so that egg is Aser. That's one Isser. Then there's an Issa D'Rabbanan. The Issa D'Rabbanan is whenever an egg is laid on Yom Tov, even if Yom Tov is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever an egg is laid on Yom Tov, that egg is Aser B'D'Rabbanan on Yom Tov. Why? Or when an egg is laid on Yom Tov, that's Sunday. So that's the Issa D'Rabbanan. Okay. Now we have the question of 2 days Yom Tov of Gullus. When you have 2 days Yom Tov of Gullus, if the egg is laid on the first day, it's Aser, because it's a Beitza Shenolda B'Yom Tov. So it's Aser on the first day. But on the second day of Yom Tov, the egg is mutter. Why is the egg mutter on the second day of Yom Tov? Because since the 2 days of Yom Tov are only Sveika de Yoma, so now, let's say Yom Tov was Tuesday and Wednesday. The egg was laid on Tuesday, that's the Issa D'Rabbanan, Beitza Shenolda B'Yom Tov. On Tuesday, the egg is Aser. On Wednesday, the egg is mutter. Why? Because Mimanushach. If Wednesday is Yom Tov, then Tuesday was Chayil. So if Tuesday was Chayil, so it was an egg that was laid during the week. Why should it be Aser on Wednesday? If Tuesday was Kodesh, so fine. So then today is Chayil. So Tuesday was Kodesh, the egg was Aser on Tuesday. Wednesday is really Chayil, so the egg is 100% mutter. Then there's the question of Shabbos and Yom Tov next to each other. When Shabbos and Yom Tov are next to each other, so let's say Yom Tov was Thursday, Friday. So Yom Tov was Thursday and Friday, and an egg was laid on Friday. If the egg was laid on Friday, now it's Aser on Shabbos. Why is it Aser on Shabbos? Because the fact that the egg was laid on Friday, that's also an act of hachana. When it was laid, it became edible. So the egg became edible on Shabbos. Shabbos is not allowed to be meichen for Yom Tov. So Yom Tov is not allowed to be meichen for Shabbos. So again, Yom Tov was Thursday, Friday. The egg was laid on Friday. It became edible on Friday, which was Yom Tov. It's Aser on Shabbos because Friday of Yom Tov can't be meichen for Shabbos. Okay, those are the key concepts. Now we go to Sivav. Says the Mechaber, Beitza sheyotza ruba me erev Yom Tov v'chazra, an egg that came most of the way out of the hen on erev Yom Tov v'chazra, and then it retracted back into the hen. V'achar kach nolda b'Yom Tov, and then it was laid ultimately on Yom Tov, muteres, that egg is muter. Says the Mishnah Berurah nice cotton chaf, muteres, the egg is permissible. The kevan sheyotzes aruba, because once the egg comes most of the way out of the chicken, harehi kiluda, that is considered halachically as if the egg was already laid. So if the egg came most of the way out of the chicken on Erev Yom Tov, it was laid on Erev Yom Tov. Now it retracted back into the hen, and then ultimately it was laid on Yom Tov. We don't view that as a Beitza Shenolda B'Yom Tov. That's a Beitza Shenolda me Erev Yom Tov. Okay. Lefikach, therefore, since this is the halacha, afilu badak bekina shel tarnegoles erev Yom Tov, samach lechashecha v'loy matza ba'beitza. Let's say you checked the nesting box on erev Yom Tov right before the onset of Yom Tov. You checked the nesting box and it was empty. There was no egg there. Ulamachar hishkim, and then tomorrow morning on Yom Tov, you got up early before Alois HaShachar. Umatza ba'beitza, and now you found an egg in the nesting box. So again, Right before Yom Tov, on Erev Yom Tov, you checked the nesting box and there was no egg. So, no egg. Now you got up in the morning before Alois HaShachar on Yom Tov morning and you look in the nesting box and there is an egg. Oh, what's the halacha now? Mutaris. That egg is mutter. Why is that egg mutter? Says the Mechaber, Shetarnegoilis eno yoledes balayla. Because generally speaking, hens do not lay eggs at night. So you have a very strange case here. You checked the nesting box right before Yom Tov began, which is right before nightfall, and there was no egg. Now you check the nesting box before Alois HaShachar, and there is an egg. So it would seem that the egg was laid during the night, but eggs are not laid during the night. So what do we say? Vanu Toilin, what we say is, Sheme Esmail Yotza Ruba. It must be that yesterday on Erev Yom Tov during the day, the egg came most of the way out of the hen. So halachically it was considered already laid. The chazar, and then the hen took it back in. And now ultimately it came out at some point in the middle of the night, but that's not called laying the egg in the middle of the night. The egg was really laid during the day and just it retracted back into the hen. And then ultimately it came out at night. But that's not a Beitza Shenolda B'Yom Tov. That's a Beitza Shenolda Me'erev Yom Tov. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Ois Cotton Chaf Aleph, Ulamachar Hishkim. You got up in the morning, tomorrow morning, Yom Tov morning, you got up, Hainu Kaidam Alois HaShachar, meaning that you got up and you checked the nesting box before Alois HaShachar. That's when we could say this spiel. If you checked the nesting box right before nightfall, right before Yom Tov, and it was empty, and then you checked the nesting box in the morning, Yom Tov morning, before Alois HaShachar, so the only two choices are either the egg will of the night, which we're not going to say because hens don't lay eggs in the middle of the night, or the egg was laid on Erev Yom Tov and then retracted. In that case, we're going to say the egg is mutter because we're going to say that the more likely explanation is that the egg was laid on Erev Yom Tov and then retracted. But that's only if you check the nesting box in the morning, Yom Tov morning before Alois HaShachar. If you check the nesting box 10 o'clock in the morning, Yom Tov morning, Talin on Shahayon Yolda, then we're going to assume that the egg was laid at 9 o'clock in the morning and it was laid on Yom Tov. The Yotzas Aruba v'chazra lo shchiach. If we have a choice between saying that the egg was mostly laid on Erev Yom Tov and then retracted, or to say that the egg was laid 10 o'clock in the morning, Yom Tov morning, we're going to say it was laid 10 o'clock in the morning, Yom Tov morning. We're not going to be matir in that case. In that case, it's going to be usher. Ois cotton chav beis, the Mechaber said, Einu yoledes balayla. A hen generally doesn't lay eggs in the middle of the night. Why is that? Explains the Chavetz Chaim. Because we have a rule, the chol shetashmishay bayoim, any type of animal that copulates with its mate during the day, noilad rak bayoim, it gives birth or it lays eggs only during the day. The tarnagol tashmishay bayoim hu, and chickens, they copulate during the day, not at night. Now, even though we know that hens lay eggs even when they're not with roosters, hens lay eggs even if they're not fertilized. So the words over here mean even if the hen took heat from the ground, in other words, it laid an egg not from being with a rooster. In that case, in that case, it is common for a hen to lay an egg even at night. We don't assume that that's what happened. Because as long as there's a rooster nearby, even if it's somewhat far, even 60 houses away, so that the hen could hear the crow of the rooster, then the hen is going to be with the rooster, and it's going to be considered a hen that only lays eggs during the day. We're going to see soon the Mechaber is going to talk about where the rooster is in relation to the hen. If the rooster is on the other side of the river, is there a bridge? Is there not a bridge? We'll get to that, Emir Hashem, tomorrow. So we're going to stop over here. So we'll pick up tomorrow on Kuf Lamed Aleph on the Beis on the top line by Vahu. Thank you so much for joining me for limud HaTorah. The discussion of limud HaTorah should stand Gans Klal Yisrael in good stead. The Olam should have in mind, please, two Chaylim, Rafael Shimon Yehuda Leib ben Perel Chaya, and Tinoikis Bas Shoshana Leah for Refuah Shalema. The schus of Torah should stay in Gans Klal Yisrael in good stead. The Rebbeinu should be megan on Gans Klal Yisrael. Everyone should have a Gemar Sima Tova, good Keben Shtiyar. The Rebbeinu should send Yeshuas, the Refuahs, and Parnasa to all those in need. The Rebbeinu should take care of everyone, give everybody whatever they need. And Rabbi Isai, we should be thinking about Tshuva and Ma'asim Tovim in these Yomim of Yemei Tshuva, Yaseres Yemei Tshuva, coming to the Yom Hadin, coming to the Gemar Din on Yom Kippur, Yom Kaddish, and everyone should have a Gemar Sima Tova. Be well.